Hello and welcome back to my channel where we do all sorts of interesting things. This is Bunny Tries Everything. I'm Bunny and we're gonna try almost everything on this channel. Just sit back and watch. Now, I do conduct a lot of polls over on my Instagram, and if you're not following me, it's okay. There's a link in the box below. You can do that and kind of weigh in on what your thoughts are and what you would like to see done right here on this channel. As you can see today, we are in the kitchen, so that means we are going to be doing a cooking video, but not just an average cooking video. No, we're going to do something a lot different for me. We're going to be cooking plant-based. I'm not sure what to think about this. I personally don't have a dietary restriction that requires me to be plant-based. I probably should think more in the way of plant-based because it is very healthy. But today we're going to be trying something plant-based, and I thought what better way to do this than with a familiar favorite that we all can get down with, spaghetti. That's right, we're going to make plant-based spaghetti. And I don't know how this is going to turn out, so we're crossing our fingers, we're hoping, and we're praying that this turns out well. I have made portions of this recipe in different ways before, but never all together and never with some of these components. So I'm a little nervous, just a little nervous. Anyway, with that being said, let me show you some of the things we will be using in today's episode. Okay, so the star of the show that really motivated me to do this particular recipe today was the meatball. Now, how do you make a plant-based meatball? I have no idea, guys. Like, my mind is not wired to even comprehend plant meat. Meatball? Plant ball? Like, I just don't know. So I took it upon myself to take a trip to Kroger where I picked up all of our ingredients for today's meal, and that was so insightful. They actually have tons of different things that are designed for plant-based diets to make it so much easier for a person like myself who has no expertise. So let's get right on started with the meatballs themselves. Plant balls, meatballs, plant-based balls of meat, whatever. These are actually from the Pure Farmland brand, available at Kroger, and I love this because it's prepackaged, already put together, and all I have to do is throw these little bad boys in and cook them for just a little bit. This makes my life so much easier, guys. Now, as you can see here, there are 12 meatballs, which is perfect because this will feed your family, or if you're just cooking for yourself, you can actually take out just the amount that you need, which is awesome. I always look for those kind of things. The next thing I noticed was these are 15 grams of protein. Wow, I'm really actually impressed. Plant-based, high protein, that's awesome. This is actually probably comparable to the beef option in way of protein. The other thing that I really like is these are made of soy, and they're not gonna have that weird tofu taste, which I personally don't love unless I'm eating Chinese food. Don't judge me, okay? Okay. On the back, it does have the cooking instructions, so all I have to do is heat up my oven to 375, which I currently am doing, and then I'll pop these bad boys in the oven, and it only takes about 15 minutes. That's not too bad. That's going to give us enough time to put together all of our other ingredients and have a meal within 25 minutes or less. So you're probably thinking to yourself now, okay, we have the protein covered, check that off the list, but what do we do about noodles? A lot of the different options that they have out there are not great in way of texture. If you're a weird texture eater, a whole grain pasta is just kind of... So I prefer actually going with a completely different option. I don't want lentils, I don't want that weird texture, so I am going to make veggie spaghetti. Yeah, that's right, veggie spaghetti. I know it sounds really weird, but let's say it again. Veggie spaghetti. I love it. How are we going to do that? I'm going to take 2 different ingredients, a squash and a carrot, and I'm going to spiralize them. No good spaghetti would be complete without sauce, and to create our sauce, it's going to take a few different ingredients. Now, our main ingredient, of course, is going to be our tomatoes. We have cherry tomatoes for this because, well, I really liked this. This was super cute. Be gone, Dracula! We have some garlic here. Garlic is a must in any Italian dish. Just to toss in a little bit of something extra because I want to be extra today on this and hope that it goes well. I'm going to be adding a purple onion. I'm also going to be adding some of these little sweet peppers. Well, now that we know everything that's going to go into our plant-based spaghetti and meatballs and we have a game plan, it is time for us to put our hands in the huddle and go with it. I am so excited and also a little scared. And go! Okay, our first step is going to be to put everything about 2 inches apart on this little pan right here. So we have our meatballs and we're about to cut into this and organize them. Next up, guys, we're gonna take these and we're gonna put them in the oven. I'm so excited because I kind of want to try them now. Like, I'm getting more excited. Plant-based could be something I could explore a little bit more if this tastes good. So here we go. Ooh, it's hot in there. Okay, guys, 15 minutes is on the clock and it is go time. It is time for us to hustle. So let's roll up these sleeves and get to chopping on all of these goodies. Let's start with our tomatoes where we need to half them and then go ahead and put them in a pan and have them start cooking down. Next up, it's garlic time. So now that we have started this, we do want to add just a tiny bit of olive oil. Again, olive oil is an acceptable oil in the plant-based life from what I've been reading. So I have my little olive oil container right here and we're gonna add just a tad. Oh my gosh, guys, it's already smelling so good. I guess we should probably start cutting up our onions now. Yeah. And now we're gonna add those onions to our mixture so that they can start sauteing down too. It's pepper time, guys, and so I'm going to be adding these 3 peppers to our mix now, and I'm just going to chop those down really quickly. Okay, our first snag has occurred. In trying to cook down the tomatoes, they are becoming softer, but they're not emulsifying whenever I try to squish them like they're supposed to. I think I have a solution. I'm not sure. I'm going to finish sauteing these and then see if this will work. Let's have a little story time real quick. And yes, I am aware that we're in the middle of all the cooking chaos right here. Just like literally a foot and a half away, chaos is ensuing, but I choose to have story time. That's kind of me. So, story time begins. I travel a lot. For those of you who aren't aware, I actually do a travel channel as well, and you can find the link of that in the description box below. Whenever I'm traveling, I obviously am not home and things get displaced. On top of that, we have newly constructed this home, and so not everything is quite where it's supposed to be just yet. Now, I said that to say this. I think I have solved our problem. I think we can emulsify down this mixture and make our sauce using this ancient little device that I have had for over 10 years in my life. This is a deluxe chopper, but I also like to make salsas and things like that out of it. Well, I used to. I haven't used it in quite some time, but now that I have found it, we might be doing more cooking videos, I'm just saying. Okay, so here it is. The cord is little, so it has to be kind of close to the wall. But yeah, it's just old, that's all. Here we go. Let's see how this works. All of our yummy goodness in, right on top, just not on the very top. As you can see, it has this nice roasted look to it. Woo! Uh-oh, I'm making a mess, guys. And this is the time that I have been really excited about. This is where we determine if this is going to be a good or bad idea to cook today. Plant-based could either go super awesome, eat more, or what were we thinking because of the sauce? The sauce makes everything anytime that you eat, because if you can build a sauce, you can build a meal. I'm nervous, guys. It looked like it worked, but we have to taste it. Oh, I hope it worked. I really hope it worked. Well, there is no time better than the current time to taste this. So let's just dig in and get a little scoop. It smells good. It smells like roasted peppers, and you can smell the onion just a little bit. I definitely don't feel as though this is off-putting. I'm really tasting that roasted pepper now. I kind of want to just dip stuff in this now. It's time to take out our meatballs. So let's just open this right on up and whoo! So this is what they look like when they come out. They don't change in size. They do get a little bit more golden brown. The consistency of them is a little bit different. They are super hot though, so I'm just gonna set them down and let them cool off for a minute. Now, next up on our list is going to be to make our spiralized veggies, and we have 1 squash and we have 1 carrot. We're going to cut off the ends of each of these on both sides, and then we're going to use our spiralizer. I'm going to show you how the spiralizer works really quickly, so if you at home have ever been curious, you can see just how easy they actually are. They're pretty cool. Again, I got mine on Amazon. It was like $19, and I've used it about 1 million times on so many different things. I really like to spiralize my veggies for like salads and things like that, but cooking the spaghetti is going to be super fun today because I get to do it with you guys. Here it is right here, and the way that this works is we pull this out and put the end of our veggie right here. And as you can see, as we crank it, it goes through this part right here, which actually cuts the veggies into a variety of different styles. Now, as you can see here, we have a fettuccine or a fine wave blade. I have the spaghetti one currently on, so all we're gonna do is just go through and spiralize. Now, the thing I like most about this spiralizer is it is a little bit different. You can actually crank this down right here, and when you do so, that activates a suction cup. And as you can see, it's not going anywhere. We're going to start with the squash. So we'll put the squash right up to this blade, and I always like to lock it in with my fingers like so. And as you can see, that's what that looks like. Now, whenever we turn this, you will see the squash start to move down. Spiralizing carrots, way harder. I usually get the big chunky ones when I do this, but these are kind of small. Okay, this is a bit of a challenge. Now we're going to take what we just spiralized, and we're actually going to use the same skillet we used before. Now, the reason we want to do that is because, as you can see, that oil is still in there, and a little bit of that flavor has cooked into that pan. So we're going to infuse our veggies with that flavor by adding them back to this pan. And yeah, we don't need to have it on there very long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. The main thing that we want to do is get them where they're not texturally quite as crunchy, but we don't want them to cook down to a mushy texture either. So by taking them from like super fresh to noodle consistency, I think we're going to be pretty happy. Noodles are in the pan. Zoodles? No, these aren't zucchini. These scroodles? Coodles? I don't know, they're just so many fun names that we could call them. We shall call them voodles because they are vegetable noodles. Voodles is our word of the day. Voodles. Okay, it's time for our consistency taste test, and I'm just gonna grab right out of the pan. Very good. It has loosened up the fibers in these vegetables, and now they're starting to react more like a noodle would whenever it's wet and swelled. So we have a nice al dente texture on at least the squash. Let's try a carrot. Oh wow, the carrots are all stuck together. Here we go. If you can hear this, the carrot is still needing to cook a little bit, but not a lot, because a carrot is never going to cook down to quite the same consistency as a squash will. So I'm just gonna leave it in for a couple more minutes, well, a minute, and then I'm gonna take it out and do our plating and then do our final thoughts and taste test. Okay, first off, we will put in our voodles. There we go, there's our voodles. Lots of voodles. Okay. Next up, we will spoon in some of our sauce. And then we will add our little meatballs right on top. Isn't that cute? Oh, that's our plant-based spaghetti and meatballs, guys. Okay guys, here is the real test of our plant-based meal. So let's just dig in and get a little bit of our sauce with our little noodles. There we go. And then I should have cut into this meatball first. Let's cut into the meatball real quick. There we go. So we have a nice hefty bite here. As you can see, there's our meatball, our little noodles, our sauce. Mmm. Oh my gosh, this is really good, guys. But I didn't know plant-based meatballs could taste like this. These have a really good flavor to them. Normally when you have something that is not actual meat, when you're used to eating meat, it tastes like either really non-flavor filled or it's really grainy. This has a good consistency. It is a slightly bit drier than like a beef would be, but that's because it doesn't have all that added grease. And so it's way better for us. And it tastes really, really good with this sauce. Okay guys, so again, you have come to my channel today and we have tried out something very different, especially for me. We did the plant-based food and we created plant-based spaghetti and meatballs, something I never in a million years thought that I would hear myself say and actually cook in my kitchen, but it was really yummy and I'm actually very impressed. Again, all of the ingredients did come from Kroger, and so I am really grateful for them to introduce me to something new. I think that this is something I could actually implement into my life and not really feel so bad about. Anyway, I hope at home you have enjoyed this. I hope that if nothing else, you have learned to try new things in your kitchen. And I hope that you will try to make your own sauces, because again, if you can build a sauce, you can build a meal. This has been a fun one, guys. So I'll see you next time. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications of future uploads. Bye.